Hello, Bots and Books fans. This is Scorp1701, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at something which I think is very, very awesome. And this is the DC Direct Batman Black and White Statue Series. This particular one is the number 100th statue in the series, and they've chose the Todd McFarlane from Batman number 423 to be the template for this statue. And this thing is awesome. Now, a little bit of history about the Batman Black and White series. Back in 1996, DC released the comic series. It was like a little mini series, and each book had like 4 8-page stories in it that were really small, and they were really good stories. And after a while, they released another series, and then they decided to do statues. Now, the statues weren't primarily from those comic books per se. They were just statues that famous comic artists had done based on their renditions of Batman. And this one, as you can see here, I have the comic here of Batman 423 with a Todd McFarlane cover, is basically what they used to do this 100th statue entry into the series. And so yeah, these statues were great. I had a lot of them back in the day. I had them on my mantle, but then I got married and the wife came in and she said, nope. So I guess, you take and you give. So you give and you take. And I think I got the better part of it with her staying with me. So I had to put my Batman statues away. But anyway, a little bit about this book. This is Batman 423. This is, without a doubt, my favorite Batman comic ever. And you can see it has a nice cover by Todd McFarlane, and I don't know who this woman is because she's not in the book, and it just has a cool, figure of Batman holding it. Maybe it's Vicky Vale, I don't know. This was put out in September of 1988, and the story is called You Should Have Seen Him. Now, it wasn't a shocking story. It wasn't something that tied into a major story event. It wasn't a gimmicky cover. It was just a good comic book. 75 cents at the time. I remember buying it. It was great. The cover did get my attention because you can see that's just a dynamic, great cover of Batman standing there. And the story inside, it was just awesome. I mean, if you've never read this comic and you like Batman, please go find this comic somewhere online. It's not an expensive comic. I don't think you might be able to find it for like $4 or $5 online. But yeah, I've got like 2 of them. This is my original. He's had some like red there on it, but this is great. I try to buy this thing every time I see it. But anyway, that's enough about the comic book. Just suffice to say, it was a great read. And let's get to the statue. So the statue is in this huge box, and it's very large, and you can see Batman Black and White here. Todd McFarlane has a nice foil DC Direct label there from the source. I don't know if you can see that, but it's in there. DC Direct here from the source. On this side of the box, you guys, nice profile of Batman, limited edition at the top. On the back of the box, you can see the product placement there and a couple other statues in the series. If we move up a little bit, we can get a slight read up of it. So that's it. We're going to take it there. Pause if you'd like. when we're done, we're going to move back. All right. And let's see. On this side of the box, you do have a full picture of what the statue looks like. It's a smaller scale, but you know, that's that. On the top of the box, you just have Batman black and white, and on the bottom, there's nothing but a barcode and some stuff. Now, what's interesting, another interesting thing about this figure is that they usually wait and do second runs after the original one's been out for a while, but they didn't wait that long. This one had not even been released before they announced that they were going to make a second edition, and that second edition is going to be darker than what they have this one as. Usually when it comes to these statues, if they put out second editions, you can tell which edition is which by the bat symbol. If the initial product came out with the yellow disc behind his bat, the second edition will come out with no disc behind his bat. So that kind of gives it a distinction of which one you're dealing with. But this particular one, they're not even going to wait that long. So they've already got a second one on the way out. All right. Anyway, we'll get this thing out of the box and we'll take a quick look at it. And here we have Batman out of the box. And out of the box, he stands at approximately 10.2 inches, but one of those inches is this stand that he's on. It's a nice bat symbol, which half the side is black and half the side is white. Kind of their signature stand for this line of statues. Now, when the statues usually come out, the figure itself is not attached to the stand. It kind of sits somewhere in the box, and you put it on the base. But this particular statue feels like they've already glued it down to the base because this isn't moving, and I can see this is a very heavy statue, so I don't think they wanted to ship it or take the chance of you damaging it or trying to put it on the base and scratching it or something. But anyway, on the bottom of the base, you can see here it says DC Collectibles number 2146 of 5000 and a couple other trademarks here at the bottom. So yeah, that is where your serial number will be for each individually numbered collector statue, and that's what they say this is. So taking a look at the statue itself, you can see this thing is basically all cape. It is it's layer upon layer and layer of cape. It goes down and up and around. It is just huge. It's all black, and you can see that there are some gray pencil marks that they put in there as painted sections. The new edition that they've already solicited that will be coming out is going to be even darker than this particular statue, and I think this is a great color as it is. You can see the markings and the lines go all the way around, go to the back, around here. Oh, look at that silhouette. That is awesome. You could just, ooh, it's very well done. And I just love this this wing, or whatever you want to call it, shoulder cape coming off there, and it just branches up. I mean, that just looks monstrous. Get a little side profile here. Okay, not as good because you don't really see anything but the cape, but you know, that is awesome. We'll keep going around, and there's the Batman. And then if we go like this, that would pretty much be what we're looking at in the comic, minus the girl. So his head was kind of to the side. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, that is just cool. Let's see if we can get it closer up on that head. So zoom a little bit closer, and that face, oh, that is just so grim, so dark. And that is what Batman needs to be, dark and scary and broody. You see the bat symbol there with the disc behind it. That is awesome. And if we go up a little bit and come down to the middle section of the cape section, let's see if we can see what, yeah, we got a little bit of utility belt down there and more of his chest body armor, but that's about it. Again, most of his body is actually getting buried in the cape, and you could just see that it is a outline of his body. But that is just so cool. So very cool. This statue is awesome. I am so happy that I picked this thing up. All right, let's do a quick comparison. And for comparison, here he is with the Batman Black and White Arkham Asylum statue. Like I said, these statues came in various depictions of artists' renditions of Batman, so it wasn't necessarily just the comic. Here you got the video game, and it's the only one I have actually handy right now, but I love these two statues. This whole line of statues, they had some ones I wasn't too impressed with, but for the most part, these statues are awesome. And if you look at the bookstores these days, you can find little smaller versions that they've decided to put out, so like maybe 6 in a box. But wow, these guys, this is a very phenomenal little series of collectibles, and they're great, and they look really nice, and I can't say enough good things about them. All right, moving on. And this has been the DC Direct Batman Black and White statue series number 100. The statue inspired by Todd McFarlane's cover to Batman 423, and one of my favorite all-time comic books. And I just highly recommend this little guy. If you can find him, they're kind of exclusive to find to comic book shops, maybe Big Bad Toy Store online, various other places. And yeah, if you have the room, if you have a space where you can put this guy, and they're a great series of statues. And they just bring the essence of Batman out. I mean, you can look at it and you're like, is that just black and white? But yeah, it is just black and white. But the depths and the darks and the various shades of gray, it just brings out a whole lot of life, even to this grayscaled figure. And it's awesome. And so that's pretty much it, guys. That's the review. It's a little short today on this special item, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And like I said, if you get a chance, go out, find Batman number 423, read it. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed if you pick up this statue either, unless you drop it and break it, which would suck. So be careful with your statues, and be careful with your comics, and just be careful. It's still dangerous out there in the world today. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.